I'm here to offer you a breath meditation to integrate fear about our future. I've had some really wonderful, exciting news in the midst of all these challenges that we're facing. I'd like to share that with you. And I would really love to offer you a positive perspective about why we need to be in lockdown. Following this video is a beautiful Transforming Fear into Love short breath meditation session that I've made just for you. I'm aware that some of you are feeling fearful and anxious about the virus, and some of you may already have lost loved ones. So let's take a few breaths and honour those who have passed over before their time. I've noticed there's a lot of fearful projections about what might be in our future. And yeah, even though I agree that everyone should have freedom of expression, no matter what their opinions, even if those opinions might feel quite scary or dangerous. Now, some can handle this, but for others, I want to acknowledge that this is bringing up a lot of fear and anger in the collective. Whatever your beliefs, all of us are facing really turbulent times, and we need to anchor ourselves with the breath so that we feel safe no matter what. So firstly, I want to acknowledge your fears, real or imagined. It really doesn't matter. So maybe some of you are worried about the virus itself. You might be separated. You might be worried about more vulnerable friends. You might be concerned about your financial long-term situation, your job or your business. Basically, there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. So let's just acknowledge that that is there first. And I'd like to then offer some soothing, reassuring news about what's coming in the future. Maybe a lot of you are wondering what the hell's going on. There are things that aren't making sense and aren't adding up. So I'm hoping that this video is going to alleviate fears and going to help you. Firstly, I want to say, please don't worry. Everything's going to be okay. In fact, in the long term, things are going to get much better, and it's going to be a lot more than okay. I've got information that's come from many wise elders, from many different tribes, and from well-respected channels around the globe. I am acknowledging them below this video. So these Indigenous tribal elders all seem to be singing off the same positive song sheet. They're the ones who are closest to the earth. So I trust them, and I trust my own gut instinct and what my higher self guides me. Now is the time to take our energy away from that fear and focus on doing what we love, to enjoy the simplicity of living and breathing and being. There's an incredibly beautiful global shift in consciousness. This is what's happening right now. I've been expecting something like this for many years. In fact, I've had a month's supply of food stored away for over a year now. This was expected by many people in the spiritual community. But of course, we had no idea how or when it would happen. So it's even a surprise to us happening in the way that it has. It's been a bit of a shock, but we're not surprised at all. In fact, we're really, really grateful that actually it feels relatively graceful. I know it's really sad that some people have lost loved ones. Many of us thought that this shift might have meant tidal waves or really difficult challenges, but the fact that most of us are just being quarantined, and that's the worst thing. I believe that this is a great opportunity for the spiritual awakening of all mankind. That's what's happening. At the same time, I'm also aware of the fear bubbling under the surface. A week before the lockdown, when we all knew the wave of this coronavirus was coming, in my meditations, I was just feeling excited. So, well, what does that mean? There's this wave coming for the whole of humanity. And I want you to know there's a huge amount of support for Mother Earth right now. We're being held by so much love, galactic and angelic, by our ancestors, by the tribal elders from all around the globe, and by the thousands of spiritually awakened beings who are all at home. They're all being rocks to anchor the light that's flooding into this earth and the light that's emanating from her core right now. So really, there's nothing to worry about. Many of us have known about this awakening for decades. We knew it was coming, but this event is far, far more than the coronavirus. I'm sure many people are realising that already. The pandemic feels like it's a lot more to do with fear, or as much fear as it is the actual sickness. We're being called to integrate that fear, to love and accept our fears. This is a great opportunity. The earth is expanding, our consciousness is expanding. There's rapid change and that feels scary, but it's good because we're moving out of this outdated, corseted Victorian consciousness into a new timeline, into a paradise timeline of paradise consciousness. So know that there are many beings that are here right now. They're working for the true light of love, and they all have your back. We're simply not on track and on a timeline for the plans of the dark forces to manifest. It's not happening. They're losing their power. The draconian ways and this lockdown are the last attempt to take control. So please don't focus any of your beautiful energy on the fear or on what they're trying to do to us. That old, unfair, controlling system, it's on its way out. Yes, they have been powerful, but it's on its way out. I know there's a pull to really awaken people and pull them out of that vibration. Not everyone can do this and straddle both worlds. There are some of us who are being called to build those bridges and dip into the fear and keep transforming it into light. There's been an alternative plan for this paradise consciousness shift in place for a long time, and it's happening now, and a lot of us are really excited about it. So, for example, in 1999 at the Solar Eclipse Festival, I met a prominent banker who told me about a positive, fair, alternative banking system to the Federal Reserve, and he was in a group already creating this enlightened banking of the future. So I've been holding on to that seed in my consciousness for 20 years, knowing that it was going to come into fruition at some time. So this biblical end of the world or this Armageddon martial law, it's not going to happen. It feels scary, but it's not going to happen. Yes, it's the end of the world as we know it, and praise be to God and Goddess, the forces that be, these benevolent beings who, whoever, whatever we believe in. Hallelujah and yahoo! We are shifting out of that old paradigm. We're no longer heading into planetary disaster. The children and the young people have been crying out, saying, no, we won't take this anymore. What the hell are you doing to our beautiful planet? Well, from that perspective, everything's changed when we went into lockdown. The children, the prayers have been answered, and so thank you for that. Instead, what we're seeing is healing already. The rivers are running clear, the planes have stopped, the birds are singing again. I've been out in my garden. People are relaxing, nobody has to go to work. We are now on this new timeline of paradise consciousness, and it's really exciting. But there's still work to do to help this transition into the new paradigm. It's not over yet. Those who've been trying to exert control, we need to honour them and thank them, because we've learnt how we don't want to be. Forgiveness is key. Forgiveness and gratitude for everything that has gone before, for all of our lessons, for all of the pain that we've gone through. We need to honour and acknowledge that. We'll achieve where we're going with far more ease and grace if we stick together now, if we love and support one another. We don't need to be Superman or Superwoman to do that. If all you have the energy to do is to be with your family and be at home and enjoy life, then that is absolutely perfect, because we're heading into unity consciousness. What does that mean? It just means showing kindness to one another. Love is all about simplicity and being grounded. So if you have time to get out and help in your community or with any groups, then this will also help to alleviate your fear, because you'll be giving to others, and this gets yourself out of the way. So how I see it, what's happening is we're going through a process of rebirthing of the planet. So my interpretation of Corona, the crown, is that the crowning in the birth process is the most difficult part of the birth. So those of you who've given birth will completely understand the symbology. The final part of the birth, when the baby's head's coming out, is called crowning. It feels like you're not going to make it. It feels like you're going to die. And in that moment, it feels like it's all over, that you can't do it. This is when you need a really good midwife to look you in the eye and tell you, I love you, I trust you, and we're going to do this together. This is what the earth and humanity is going through right now. We're going to make it. You're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. I love you. And I know you can do this. Faith and trust is what is required from all of us to make this transition for the earth and all of humanity, because we're all interconnected. We're all one consciousness. So what can we do to raise our consciousness and our vibration? In layman's terms, that means, what can we do to feel good more of the time? Well, number one, you know what I'm going to say, breath work and dancing, walks in nature, gardening. For you, it might be chatting to friends or doing some yoga or meditating, laughing, breathing, sharing our love, sitting in the garden with your family, having a beer, whatever makes you feel good. Giving to others, taking care of your pets. We're all doing what we can to integrate this wobble that we're all feeling. In a nutshell, we all need to be rocks to anchor the light. So, cancel any negative thoughts on any darkness manifesting, and start imagining the Garden of Eden. What sort of paradise would you like to experience? I watched a wonderful video with an Aboriginal elder explaining her ancestors' teachings about this time, which, by the way, has been prophesied in all traditions. She explained that the old songlines ended on the 20th of March 2020 and the new songlines have begun. So the old structures based on separation and fear and control can no longer be sustained. Woohoo! Nothing will be the same again. There may be some mind-blowing and quite scary revelations that will be revealed pretty soon. This is what the conspiracy theorists are trying to warn people about, so that it isn't such a big shock. This is the same story that I've heard from all the tribal elders and all the channels that I've been reading and listening to for the last 20 years. And everything that was told is coming true now, which is why none of this is a surprise to me or most of my friends. Everything will get much better if we remain on the timeline that we're on now. So this lady recommends that we stay grounded, we feel the support of the earth, that we lie on the earth, we connect with our mother. This is hugely, hugely beneficial. So I'm posting her videos and those of lovely Magenta Pixie, an amazing channel that I know from Bournemouth. She's written some amazing books and I highly recommend that you listen. They both tell the stories in much more detail. One of them is an Indigenous grandmother, so please listen to them. They give much, much more detail than I'm giving to you now. I'm just giving you an overview of things that I've cherry-picked from what I've been listening to, as well as trusting my guidance. We have all been preparing for this divine planetary reset to take place. And even though I haven't shared this with many of my clients, my underlying intention for the work with the breath and clearing the patterns and really supporting you to help your vibration has been for this planetary shift, for the freedom of humanity. And it's going to bring so much freedom, especially for the children. Knowing where or, how the virus came about is actually not really relevant. It's interesting, but we all know that we need to end this madness, the pollution, and to heal Mother Earth. So how I feel is that really ultimately our consciousness created this virus, no matter where it's come from. Ultimately it is for the greatest good of the whole, and it's up to all of us. This is our opportunity to step into our collective power and to co-create the world we want. We have an amazing opportunity in this portal we're sitting in right now to create a completely different future. It's entirely up to us. To quote Marianne Williamson, we are powerful beyond measure. Take a breath into that. It's not our darkness that scares us the most, but it's our light. Who are we not to be glorious and to allow ourselves to shine? We're magicians. We are so much more powerful than we've ever dared to believe. And this is our time. We can and we will create the reality that we want. Thought is creative, and whatever we focus on grows. So we must now set our intentions for the future that we want to see and create together. So right now, during this, what I'm calling a reset, well, what lots of people are calling a reset, we must focus our minds and our energy on what we want and what we need for us personally, for our family, for a wider community, and for the whole of humanity. And I'm going to focus my time and energy creating free breath meditations to this end. So if So think and visualize of the utopia you've always dreamed of. This is our time. Right now, this is why we're in shutdown. We've been given an opportunity to dream our dream. See, every time the dark create something, they shoot themselves in the foot. They're not actually that clever. They've been powerful, but they're not that clever. We want to manifest our dreams. Did you know that we've actually got Tesla technology that's been suppressed, waiting to be gifted to the whole of humanity? We've got a new banking system sitting there waiting to enable everyone to have the education, the housing, everything that they want. If you watch my previous video on Loving the Breath on YouTube, it's all about changing our mindset, using our breath to manifest our reality. So there are several reasons, good reasons, for being in isolation. Yeah, one is so that we can stay safe from this virus. Two, and equally important, is because it gives us time to be still, to reassess our lives. Three, so we can ground ourselves like rocks and focus on what we want, connect to the earth, to meditate, to breathe, and help the collective fear to integrate. Number four, so we can feel good, so we can do what we love. We don't have to be at work. This will help us to shift from 3D into 4D and to 5D. Five, because humanity is exhausted. So many people are like doing 3 jobs just to pay the rent. Life's become crazy. This is our opportunity to be still and breathe. And so to this end, I've created you a really beautiful, well, I think it's beautiful, breath meditation to assist you in integrating any wobbliness you might be feeling. First, we need to acknowledge the fear and the anger before we can transform it into love. So, if you got to the end, thank you for listening. And if you'd like to know more about me, my name's Julianne Horrocks. I'm the founder of Loving the Breath. You can find me online at lovingthebreath.com. I've got a Facebook page, an Instagram page, and I've just created a YouTube channel. At the moment, I'm not seeing clients. I'm focusing all my energy on recuperating myself and creating these free breath meditations and videos to inspire you during this time. They're all free. I'm sending you so much love and blessings. I hope you're having a beautiful and abundant day. Stay safe. And remember, the references to the elders and the channels are